Speaking on Sky News, the Foreign Affairs Committee chairman argued joining the World Cup in Russia would send a message of endorsement to Vladimir Putin's politics at a time the UK is fighting with the international community against the rogue regime's involvement in Ukraine. The Conservative MP accused the Russian president of murdering 300 people in Ukraine and of the attempted murder of Sergei Skripal and his daughter in Salisbury back in February. Asked whether UK officials will not be present at any of England's matches this month, Mr Tugendhat said, "That's right, including the royal family. I think that's right because actually, that would be a political endorsement of the Putin regime, which I think would be particularly unhelpful at this time given that they murdered nearly 300 people by downing an aircraft over Ukraine recently. And we remember of course the attempted murder of 2 people in Salisbury, the attempted murder of the Prime Minister of Montenegro. I can go on, I mean the invasion of Ukraine, the occupation of Crimea, the occupation of Georgia." The move comes after Prime Minister Theresa May announced in the Commons last March that Russia was culpable for the attempted murder of former KGB agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. She said, "We will suspend all planned high-level bilateral contacts between the United Kingdom and the Russian Federation. This includes revoking the invitation to Foreign Minister Lavrov to pay reciprocal visits to the UK and confirm there will be no attendance by ministers or indeed members of the royal family at this summer's World Cup in Russia." Sources had previously said Prince William, who is the president of the Football Association (FA), and other members of the royal family were not planning to attend the event. England was the only national team from the UK to qualify for the World Cup, which will take place from June 14 to July 15 and is still due to compete. Among the measures taken by Mrs May, also the expulsion from the country of 23 Russian diplomats identified as undeclared intelligence officers. The Prime Minister added, "There is no alternative conclusion other than that the Russian state was culpable for the attempted murder of Mr Skripal and his daughter and for threatening the lives of other British citizens in Salisbury. This represents an unlawful use of force by the Russian state against the United Kingdom." In her speech to the Commons, Mrs May made clear that it's not in the UK's national interest to break off all dialogue between the United Kingdom and the Russian Federation, but said that in the aftermath of this appalling act against our country the relationship between Moscow and London can't be the same. The measures included increased checks on private flights, customs and freight traffic. The Prime Minister said Russian state assets would be frozen wherever we have evidence that they may be used to threaten the life or property of UK nationals or residents. She added, "Led by the National Crime Agency, we will continue to bring all the capabilities of UK law enforcement to bear against serious criminals and corrupt elites. There is no place for these people or their money in our country."